The story begins at a traditional herbal medicine factory called Wani Waras, located in a remote village in Indonesia. The company's R&D department had just finished creating samples of their latest herbal concoction. They sent 2 samples to the owner and partner before FDA approval. Passing through the beautiful village scenery, the courier finally arrived at the home of the herbal company's owner and delivered the sample. Meanwhile, the gray-haired old man named Sadamin, the proud owner of Wani Waras Herbal Factory, was inside. After receiving the new sample, Sadamin immediately drank it himself. His wife Karina, who was there with him, suggesting they take a short honeymoon trip together. Karina had been Sadamin's daughter's best friend until Sadamin married her. That one choice turned friendship into quiet hatred. A few cups of coffee later, Sadamin's daughter Kenes arrived with her son, Raihan, and her husband, Rudy. She was planning to divorce Rudy after catching him with another woman. Inside, they met Bambang, Kenes's older brother, a jobless gamer and the family's favorite burden. While everyone was busy discussing the planned sale of the Wani Waras factory, Sadamin suddenly realized something strange. The wrinkles on his face had faded and his gray hair was gone. Even Karina was stunned. Her husband, who looked like a retired history teacher this morning, now looked younger than her favorite soap actor. Sadamin suddenly felt a wild surge of energy, strong like a dragon. Karina was amazed by his sudden revival. They started gardening, unaware of the strange mark on his back. A few dips later, Sadamin came out, surprising Kenes and the others. He looked much younger than before. Sadamin could even lift his grandson with ease. He then explained that the reason behind his sudden youth was the new herbal drink the factory had just created. He named the new formula Abadi Nanjaya, the elixir of eternal youth, at least according to him. Because of that, Sadamin decided not to sell the company. But the others disagreed, since they desperately needed the money from selling the factory. Apparently, not everyone was excited about immortality when the bills were due. As they argued with each other, no one noticed that Sadamin's body was starting to change. He raised his voice, insisting he would never sell his company. Not now, not ever. But suddenly, his skin began to rot, right before their eyes. Everyone froze in shock. Sadamin coughed violently, vomited blood, and collapsed lifelessly on the floor. As they panicked and tried to call the hospital, the rot kept spreading across Sadamin's face. And then, this happened. Sadamin suddenly rose from the floor as a zombie and attacked his family and their household assistants. The driver who came from behind got splashed by his vomit full of blood. Bambang, trying to stop and wake his father, was attacked and thrown to the floor. Struggling against Sadamin's assault, he accidentally fired his toy crossbow. The arrow hit straight into his father's head, killing him instantly. Everyone in the house was devastated by Sadamin's death. Moments later, Rudy asked his driver to report the incident to the police. Meanwhile, Bambang sat in shock, unable to speak, guilt consuming him for killing his own father. He and Kenes cried quietly inside the car. Meanwhile, inside the house, Rudy received a report that one of the bitten housemaids had lost consciousness. Moments later, the maid appeared again. But she was no longer human. The zombie lunged forward, attacking them and biting another terrified housemaid. Without thinking twice, they immediately ran away from the house. Meanwhile, outside, Bambang and Kenes noticed something strange in the car's rearview mirror. Kenes stepped out to check and froze in shock when she saw a zombie attacking someone nearby. She panicked as the zombie turned and ran toward her, but luckily, Bambang managed to shoot it just in time. Bambang and Kenes searched the house for Rudy and Raihan. Inside, they found only blood and scattered belongings. Suddenly, one of their housemaids appeared, now a zombie. Seeing the zombie running toward them, they immediately fled outside and slammed the door shut. When they reached their car, the zombie they had just struck was gone. Meanwhile, the driver they had sent to report the incident began to show strange changes. His body began to rot, just like Sadamin's. His car barreled into a crowd of villagers attending a wedding. The villagers were furious and rushed toward the vehicle. When the car door was opened, this is what happened next. Elsewhere, Rudy and the others were hiding from the housemaid who had turned into a zombie. Just as the zombies seemed to leave, Rudy's phone rang, and that sound made it chase them again. Strangely, when thunder rumbled and the rain began to fall, the zombie froze and stopped attacking them. For a moment, Rudy and the others just stared, confused but relieved. Taking the opportunity, they immediately ran away from the place. A few moments later, Rudy informed Kines that they were safe and would head to the village head's house to report the incident. But in the midst of the urgent situation with zombies chasing them, Kines wanted to speak to her child right away. "If I were there, I would slap her cheek." When they arrived at the village head's house, they discovered that the village head and the villagers who had attended the wedding had all turned into zombies. As they tried to hide inside the village head's house, zombies suddenly attacked them. The housemaid wasn't so lucky and got bitten by one of the zombies. The three of them managed to get inside and hide within the house. Meanwhile, Bambang and Kines saw a crowd of zombies in front of the village head's house. Kines called Rudy to ask where they were because she was worried about her child. Unable to locate them, she honked the car horn to try and get Rudy's attention. But instead, she attracted the zombies. Kines panicked as the zombies charged toward them, which made me want to slap her face again. If you also feel like slapping her too, go ahead, smash that like button and subscribe before the zombies do. The zombies chased their car, and some began attacking the villagers nearby. Meanwhile, Rudy, realizing that the zombies had moved on, planned to use his driver's car to escape. They quickly headed to the car, but when they arrived, it was severely damaged. As he was about to call Kans, Rehan noticed something in the distance. Their housemaid, now a zombie, was chasing them. They ran and took refuge in a nearby villager's house. Rudy, like a hero, tried to hold off the zombie. A few moments later, he returned, covered in blood. As Karina searched for a cloth to wipe the blood from Rudy's face, Rudy realized the changes in himself after being bitten by the zombie. He told her that he loved Raihan and asked her to take care of his mother. Karina, noticing the change in Rudy, stepped inside to check on him. Inside, Rudy had already changed before he even had the chance to leave the house and attacked them. Meanwhile, Kines and Bambang were trying to find a way to reach Rudy. Distracted by Google Maps, their car crashed. Fortunately, they survived, and miraculously without any injuries. The truck driver, feeling guilty, helped them. In the distance, zombies ran toward them and attacked the truck's passengers. The truck driver, unaware of what was happening, got angry because his truck was being disturbed by the villagers. The truck driver charged toward the horde of zombies, seemingly offering his life for the audience. Kines and Bambang spotted the police station nearby and immediately headed there. They reported that there was chaos, while there were 4 policemen in the station. After receiving the report, 3 of them went out to investigate. When they arrived, they were shocked to see the villagers had turned into zombies. Having never watched a zombie movie, one of the policemen fired tear gas. Of course, it had no effect, and the zombies attacked them. Meanwhile, Karina and Raihan were shocked to see one of the villagers enter their hiding place. The woman was Ningsi, the owner of the house and the only survivor from the wedding at the village head's house. At first, they were cautious, thinking Karina might be possessed like the other villagers. After confirming she wasn't a zombie, Ningsi called her boyfriend, Rahman, a policeman. Ningsi told him that her father and mother were already dead, while Rahman didn't notice the zombies behind him. Fortunately, his commander pulled him inside and quickly shut the door. Rahman panicked when he saw his commander, who had already been bitten, start convulsing. They didn't know that those who were bitten would turn into zombies.
Kalau saya nggak tembak dia, kita semua mati, Mas. Mati dia tuh.
After that, Rahman sought help from the police station in another district, while Kines worried about her son Raihan, whose whereabouts were unknown. A few moments later, Kines received a call from Karina, who said that Raihan was safe, which made Kines' attitude toward Karina begin to change. Karina also informed her that Rudy hadn't survived and had turned into a zombie. Sometime later, zombies began approaching the police station. Rahman, who was on the phone, received news that the backup team couldn't move because they were being attacked by zombies. The call was cut off after gunshots rang through the line. Rahman and Bambang tried to survey the situation from the police station's roof. They saw that the backup police team had been completely wiped out by the zombies. Now they were trapped inside the police station, surrounded by a horde of zombies. In the late afternoon, as the call to prayer echoed, the zombies ran toward the sound. Bambang explained that zombies were attracted to noise. Rahman decided to test this by setting off a firecracker. As soon as they heard the firecracker, the zombies immediately charged toward its source. After realizing this, they planned to escape using the motorcycle of Rahman's fellow officer. They wore police protective gear and carried rifles, with the goal of rescuing Raihan. Using firecrackers, they tried to distract the zombies. The first attempt failed, causing the zombies to attack. On the second attempt, they successfully drove the zombies away from the police station area. They ran toward the motorcycle, but zombies still blocked their path in the distance. Rahman had no choice but to shoot, but the gunfire drew even more zombies toward them. This scene shows up in every zombie movie. If you agree, hit like and subscribe. At the same time, in Ningxi's house, the zombie Rudy tried to break in. Other zombies joined the attack after hearing Rudy's banging. Suddenly, thunder rumbled and rain began to fall, causing the zombies to freeze. Seeing the opportunity, they immediately ran away from the place. The same thing happened with Kines. Seeing the zombies freeze, they immediately ran away from the area. However, the thunder and rain suddenly stopped, and this is what happened next. Separated, Kines ran in the opposite direction, while Bambang and Rahman returned to the police station. Kines climbed into an empty truck from their earlier car accident. The zombies began to surround her. At the same time, Ningxi and the others escaped on motorcycles. On the way, they stopped after seeing a group of zombies. As they were about to leave, their motorcycles suddenly died. Kines, realizing her child was there, honked to alert them of her presence. However, the zombies attacked because the bike starter wouldn't work. Fortunately, a firecracker set off by Kines scared the zombies away. Kines immediately hugged Raihan after being apart for so long. Suddenly, a zombie appeared and attacked them. Ningxi quickly killed it, but the noise alerted other zombies. They were forced to take shelter in the same truck as before. Now, it wasn't just Kines trapped inside. A short while later, Bambang called, saying he was trapped in the police station. Realizing this, Kens and the others planned to rescue them using the truck. They immediately drove toward the police station, but the brakes failed, and they crashed into the station's door. As they got out of the truck, they panicked upon seeing Bambang's leg crushed. The zombies began crowding around and tried to enter through the gaps in the doors. Panicking, they tried to pull Bambang free, but it only caused him more pain. Meanwhile, Ningxi was bitten by the zombie commander inside the jail. Rahman tried to help her, but there were too many zombies, and he was bitten as well. At the same time, Kines was attacked by the zombie Rudy. Seeing the zombies starting to get inside, Bambang resigned to his fate and told the others to escape immediately. He planned to sacrifice himself even though Kines disagreed. The three of them survived and planned to escape on the police motorcycle down the road. However, Kines realized that she had been bitten by a zombie. Knowing this, she apologized to Raihan for not being able to go with them. Then she asked Karina to take care of her child. Kenneth took her pistol and planned to end her life before turning into a zombie. Seeing more zombies approaching, she urged them to leave immediately. She set off a firecracker to distract the zombies so they wouldn't follow Karina and Rayhan. In the dark rice fields, Kenneth ended her life. The next morning, Karina and Rayhan managed to escape, but a zombie was chasing them from behind. At the same time, in a city hotel, Sadamin's business partners received the sample of the herbal drink that had been sent earlier. They began to feel the same changes that Sadamin experienced. And you can guess what happens next. Thank you for watching until the end. Hit like, share, and subscribe. So when the apocalypse comes, you won't panic like in this movie.